Good morning, everyone. Here we are. Oh, it's middle of the night. Let's go to bed. Back again. It's been a week. I did have an IRL life going on last week, and it's all done. So I am back here. I did work the elections, which was an interesting thing to do. Unusual, quite stressful, long hours, but I made it. So it's quite the thing. One of the things I did to pass some of the time to relax afterwards was to prep for today's stream. So one of the things I did was this here. These are here. They just don't have the actual posts on them like we do down there. So these are going here to create light. I did the boxes out for all of these here so that we know what they are, the different colors associated with it. So this is how the pattern's going to go. Inside of each of these chests is all the materials needed to build each house. That way I knew I had everything. I built some gardens, and these gardens all contain wheat. Another thing I did was I pushed the fence out. The problem is the fence was getting in the way of all the pathways over here, so I was like, okay, we need to push the fence. So it has been pushed all the way back out to here. So it runs down here. And another thing I did was chop off some of this hill. I'm not sure how far over this way it'll go, but I did chop off part of it. There we go. Thank you, chicken. So yes, this most likely will still come down, like it still has to come down one more level. It's still too high up. So this will come down again, but I don't think I'll bring it all the way down. Yeah, most of the stuff is at least one higher. This will all stay essentially as it is. I'm probably going to light it up, but it'll stay reasonably what it is. You know, I may not even light it up. I may keep it. But it is going to, I think for the longest while, I'm going to keep it until the update. Then with the update, it's going to be doing, that is where all the new updated stuff will kind of go in this area that's not fenced. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this here because it's not actually useful. It needs to go somewhere a little better. I'm probably going to push it a lot further out that way if I'm working out that way, because all I do is I actually have been, good morning, I have been jumping into the water instead. Water's a little more convenient, a little easier to find. I do have a lot of wolves drifting through. They make me a bit nervous. Over there is all going to be for new content, so it's just going to be a case of how much do I chop off and chop down and fill in. We still have to move the river. I've been killing as many as I can find of the creepers to be able to get more TNT to blow the hole between here and there, and then figure out how to blow it that way. So yeah, the village is going to expand over here because there's been quite a few more villagers I've been noticing that have been down this way. So I'm thinking maybe we can pull them down even further. I did move my garden over here. So it's here now. It's a little weird looking. It's really long. And I fixed this a little bit so that it's not on the second level anymore. It's just on one. And we'll see how that goes. It's about all I can say about it. This road up here eventually needs to connect. This garden is probably not going to stay here. It's just here for now. I'm going to have to push it probably further out that way. Another egg. Interesting. Because this road needs to come across and connect to this road. And I can't do that if there's a giant garden in the way. So, yeah, the garden will have to go. What I'll probably do is run the path literally where these logs are and connect it up with this road. And then I don't know what's happening on that side. Other than that, I'll have to have my garden, I guess, out there somewhere. I don't have anywhere good for it because I don't really have a good home yet. I'm kind of still staying in the villager home, but it's not really a home. It's a house where I live. Right, kitties? Right. All right. There we go. Now you've all turned around and looked at me. That's kind of creepy, actually. So I do have the materials to build the house. One of the things I do want to do is I do want to gather up all the wheat because we are going to be still needing a lot of wheat. So I'll get that done. So yeah, I actually made a list. I need to collect the wheat, build the houses, fence for the lamps, so they're not just little balls of cotton sitting on the ground. And I need to start working on that back area. I keep saying, oh, I'm going to. We're actually going to. It's about time, that's for sure. I may seem a little bit more low energy today. My tummy is not feeling the best, but I'm still pushing through. I think it's more nerves than anything else because I haven't streamed in a week and I do get really quite anxious. So I'm hoping it's just that. And I'll just get over it as we go through. I am missing a lily pad. That is not good. But my horse breeding also has to keep going, and that is not going so well. Somehow, I bred 2 random horses and got the horse I needed. Got it on the first try. But I can't remember which 2 horses I bred together, and I've been doing every combination I can think of, and I have not produced the same horse again. I have bred that horse with other horses, and I'm still not getting the same results. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I can't get this horse again. It just doesn't seem right or fair. Mostly the fair part I don't like. Because I'm randomly on the first try I get it. But now I can't. So I don't know. I've been looking up information. I've been trying to find, is there something I'm missing? How do I figure out what horse to breed with what to get what? And nope, nada. All I find is mods that you can use. Thank you. I get nervous about stuff. Anxious altogether. It's weird. It's just usually if after I've taken a bit of a break from it and I'm coming back again. Mondays are the worst because I haven't streamed on the weekend, so here I am streaming again. But this is even worse because I haven't streamed since last week on Friday because I was working, which is, it's nice to have a guaranteed income. It's kind of a nice thing. But at the same time, I really missed doing this while I was doing that. I wanted to do this instead. When I got up in the morning, I was like, I want to stream. I don't want to go to work. I don't want to do the other stuff. I want to do this. So I do love what I do. But still, it is a form of public speaking. And as everyone knows, you get nervous when you do that. At least most people do. I know comedians do. I was watching some kind of special about comedians, and there's one who actually throws up before every one of his shows. And I thought, wow, you've been doing this for how many years? That can't be good for your digestive system. The acid in your throat and everything, that's got to be really an unhealthy thing to do. I don't get that bad at all. Nowhere close to that level. But wow, I can't imagine going through your life being like that, and that's your profession. This is what you've chosen to do and what you love, and it makes you physically ill. I don't know. I would become a writer instead. I would write jokes for other people. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Do they even have a therapist for it? if it's that bad. Oh, there's one. I can't imagine, but they're professional comedians. You're medicated for it? Yeah, I'm medicated for mine too. When I get up, the first thing I do is pop my pill. I'm more anxious with people I know than with complete strangers. Like if I have to get up in, like I at my church, I do sermons every so often, like very rarely. Recently, far more rarely because my anxiety has gotten a lot worse. But I would get up and I could do presentations and sermons and stuff like that without too much trouble, as long as I pretended I didn't know anybody. Like that's what gets me is I know them, they know me, and they can judge me. And when they judge me, it matters. And that's what gets to me. If it's a complete group of strangers who don't know me from a hole in the ground, I don't care because they're a hole in the ground. Well, I'm a hole in the ground. Either way, nobody knows who I am. Nobody cares who I am. See, this is the horse I want. You are the one I want. These are the ones I keep getting. Where are the rest of you? Where have you wandered off to? There's two over here. Another one. See, these are the ones I'm getting. Oh, you're a black one. Never mind. I'm getting lots of these dark brown spotted. And like you can see them, they're everywhere. I'm going to have to slaughter them. There's just so many. And everything. One or two people, weirdly enough, is not that big of an issue for me. I'm actually okay one-on-one. I can work on that. I can work on charming them. I can do things like that. I gotta move you guys all back over here so I can find you all. I'm missing a painted one. Oh, there you are. So I am able to do one-on-one. Like I am fabulous in interviews. I am amusing. I am like, well, I'm like I am in here. But only for like interviews and stuff. Kids are horrible. I did Sunday school this Sunday and I'm like, I don't ever want to do it again. Like ever. It was so horrible. I don't plan to have children. I don't want to have children. I do Girl Guides and that's enough. Like volunteering to work with kids is as good as it gets. And again, I do Sunday school. But oh my God, Sunday school this week was just awful, beyond awful. I have lost already one of these. I had 20 of them. I actually had about 40 of these. And just in the process of getting horses, I lost so many. Are you guys standing on it? Like, where is it? Oh my gosh. Come on, guys. Cooperate. All right. Where is your partner? There. There's your partner. They're still doing. Hang on. Let me back up a little bit. I think it helps not to take yourself seriously. That's what I did when I worked with kids. I don't. I just get frustrated sometimes with them. They are terrible. I wish this would not spin you backwards when you do it, because how are you supposed to see what's going on? And you produce one of your own. All right, you and you. Produced one of your own. Like this never happens. It's only because now I'm doing this that I can't see if you do that. And you, are you going to produce one of your own? You are. Okay, that is annoying because they didn't do that before. When they say something weird, like, yeah. I'm fairly good at reading people and recreating who I am based on what their feedback is. Like I read them as I go, and essentially I use biofeedback to figure out what is it they want to hear? What is it they're looking for? Like I read their body posture and their movements and all of that stuff to figure out what is it they actually want. And so I fly through interviews. Okay, little ones, you are free. And we have yet again more useless horses. All of these horses in here are me. These are all fails. Like all of them. I have a field full of fails. It is sad. But I need a black horse with a blanket, and I have no idea how you can tell it has a blanket or not. I need a dark brown horse, like this one, another one with a blanket. And the reason I keep these guys in here is they actually are counted horses. They're supposed to be here. And then I need a solid dark brown horse. And I haven't gotten one of those. So I need a solid one of these guys. I need a blanket one of these. I need 2 solids and a blanket. I think I'm going to have to go out into the wild to see if I can find some more, because breeding them here isn't working. I bred 2 of these together once, like a spotted and a painted, and I got a light brown, like something else. I was like, how did these 2 horses produce, like, ugh. It was frustrating, and I am carrying the leads with me, which I don't need. Some of these horses, I just don't understand. And I have been breeding some of the other ones out in the field as well. Like, we have a black horse here, and we have a light brown one here that's painted. I would breed these 2 together to see what it produces. And it'll produce like a white dot or something like obscure. And I'm like, how did that happen? How did you produce that? Yeah, we have tons of these guys, and I'm going to have to kill like so many of them, and I feel so bad. Okay, I really don't, but there's just too many of them. I don't mind having a few horses out here in the field. Like I have, I think, an extra llama out here. I may not actually have the extra llama out here anymore, because I had to kill a llama inside of... Is there a llama? Llama. Maybe there... Oh, there's one. There's one there. I had to kill one of the llamas inside there because he wouldn't come. He wouldn't go from one place to the other, so I killed him and came and brought the one from out of here in there. And we have an extra horse. Really? Thanks. Extra mushroom. And we have some chickens. The chickens used to be out there, and I was like, okay, we'll just bring them in. I have a donkey, and I think way over that way is the mule. Somewhere that away. But I have been breeding like painted with painted, or not painted with painted, blanket with blanket, like different shades of the blanket ones, to see if they'll just pop out by accident, one of the other blanket ones. Or like I did a white blanket with this black horse to see if it'll produce one, and no, they produce weird stuff. You get like the light brown, and you get like, I have no idea what or how they figure out the AI. Rox was explaining to me that you can breed them and it'll produce random things. So I was doing that, but now they just give me a massive headache. So yeah, not so good. Close the door. When I was setting everything up, every time I came in here, there was a villager. And I was just like, this is my house. Get out of my house. Scary villager. What are you doing in my house? Do I have a pick? I do have a pick. One of the other projects I would like to get started on soon is I would like to start, I have 36 levels. I would like to actually start doing things like, I need a shovel. I have an axe. What am I going to do with an axe? Really? Ay, ay, ay. Nope. Other way. Nope. That's efficiency. That'll blow through everything a little too fast for my liking. Just one shovel. That's all I need. I've been making a lot of iron tools. I did have a diamond shovel that I was using, but it again dug out these giant holes in the ground when I was doing it because it has efficiency on it. And so I have learned not to use an automated shovel because they are, whoopsie, because I can't control my shovel. I am just out of control. Okay, let's put dirt back in the hole. Okay, we don't need axes either. Goodbye axe, goodbye axe. We'll need shovels. I will need a piece of dirt. There we go. We need the axes because if I put these other things down wrong, they're going to kind of need to come back up. Your wool, you're there. So you are my base. I spent a great deal of time trying to figure out what color goes where. I don't think I did a great job of choosing that, but I'm kind of going with it. Like, I'm not perfectly happy in the actual configuration of the colors, but I just got kind of tired of trying to figure it out. Colors are just colors, and I don't spend a great deal of time with it. Like, I'm almost never up in the other village. I don't spend any time over with these houses or the ones along there. I don't spend any time with those ones, so I'm like, does it really matter what it kind of looks like? I mean, it kind of does, but not really. And I spent a great deal of time doing stuff for prep for this to cook. I had to cook a lot of this stuff to get it going. Okay, I'm at glass. Let's do the glass first. I was going to take out some of this stuff and put it away, but it's the roof, and I don't want to do that just yet. One there. I guess I don't actually need the torches in here because I have a whack of torches on me already. And door. And doesn't have the actual roof on it yet, but it's got all of this. Yay! Pop that. And I'm going to need dirt because I need to get up on top. And this is where this comes in. So our first house will be done. And then the 9 for here. And then of the 6 torches, there's 4 for the corners on top. And then there was the 1 out front and the 1 just inside. That gives us 6. These houses I genuinely could make in my sleep. They're not very interesting. I mean, they're colorful, but they're not very creative at all. My phone just exploded. Why did my phone explode? That one I'll have to look up. But I've been getting a lot of weird calls lately from a number that the area code is Burundi. I am like, why are you calling me? And it comes up as a spam, scammer call type of thing. So I blocked it, which is what you're supposed to do. And the problem I'm having is that it's not staying blocked. It is coming back. So as I block it, I end up with it doing like, say the last 2 digits are 10, it changes it to 12. Or I think the last one was 42. And I'm like, no, I still, like, all the other digits are the same. It's just changed to a different extension of the same phone number. And it's still from Burundi, and I don't know anybody there. I did have somebody call me from Nigeria once. And here's my big problem. My little cousin, her father is actually Nigerian. So I don't know if there was a reason that somebody from there was calling me or if it wasn't, because they were actually trying to leave a message. Now, it wasn't like, oh, I've left you all the money or whatever like that. It's like, oh, I've been trying to get a hold of you and I'm having some trouble getting hold of you. I'm not sure if I have the right number. Like, it sounded like a normal person trying to call. So I don't know if for some reason, like when my cousin was here, if, she was making calls from here or something like that, or gave our phone number as a callback number for when she was here. If they wanted to contact her, they could call her here, which would make sense because she was staying here. And they just kept the number without realizing that that's not going to be the regular number to call. So I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I didn't answer. In the last one they called, they apologized for calling and that they would try a different location or something like that. And I was just like, okay, that works for me because it means you're not calling me anymore, whoever you random person are. But I don't answer it. It did come up as Nigeria, which was interesting because a lot of them don't tell you where they are. You have to actually look them up. This one went ahead and said, no, this is where it's from, which means it wasn't like a block number or your typical spam number. So to me, it was just a regular home number. And they were just trying to get a hold of somebody, and my phone number was the phone number they got. So I'm like, okay. But I know for a fact, I know nobody in Burundi. So that one is definitely a scam. On top of it, it comes up as a scam number. Like my phone says, this number is a scam. And I'm like, thank you, Fido. I will not answer this number. There's another category I found recently, which is, I think it was deceptive. I think it was like, okay. So it was kind of cool. Came up, this call is deceptive. I'm not sure what it's deceiving me of, but okay, good to know. I will not answer it either. I also have a rule that if you have a private name or private number, I will respect your privacy and not answer the phone. You don't want to tell me who you are? I'm not going to ask. Who am I to ask? I mean, you went to all that trouble to pay extra money so that people wouldn't know who you are. I am not going to interfere with that. That would be horribly rude of me. And I am Canadian after all. We don't do rude. I don't think I did the inside ones, and I don't want to be breeding creepers inside. Which I have done, which I gotta tell you is not fun. And yes, I just went through the door of a room that has no walls. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I would like to know who it was. Like I wanted to answer, but rule of thumb is you never do it. You don't answer calls from people you don't know. It's not safe. And curiosity is not a good enough reason to do it. So I didn't. Even if they were genuinely, looking for my cousin and that they were genuinely family, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't need to have my phone on some weird list of people who will answer their phone because they are easy to scam. That type of list. I have never had the Canada Revenue Agency. That's a big scam that's going on. I haven't had them call me and say, hey, we have a warrant out for your arrest because you haven't been paying your taxes. I want to have that one because I want to point out to them that, first off, they haven't been paying me because I don't pay taxes. I don't earn enough money to actually have to pay it out. So they actually owe me a refund. but they don't give me my refund. It goes to my student loan. So technically, they owe me money. If they want to send me to jail for not paying my taxes, I want to send them to jail for taking my money and giving it to my student loan. I want my taxes back. I have paid my student loan. Good Lord, how much have I paid to that horrible thing? I have paid it plus the interest on it and the interest on the interest. I am done paying it. I refuse to pay any more of it simply because I have paid more than my fair share of it. Like, the cost of my tuition has been more than covered. The cost of my books, which I had to pay out separately, has been more than covered. The amount that I have paid into my student loan, I should have a doctorate by now. But I still have student loans due because I did not pay it fast enough. And it's all pure interest. And they stick the interest on, and then they put the interest on the interest. And I'm like, how am I supposed to pay that? That is not possible. What they expect is just impossible. And now they don't even do it that way anymore because they know it's so impossible. Like, you can't even bankrupt it. You can't say, throw it into a bankruptcy and say, I'm done. It's exempt. And it's like, wow. So I will carry that debt for the rest of my life, unless I win the lottery. And then I'm going to pay it off. And I'm going to tell them, your education system sucks. And so does your everything else. I'm really mad at them. They cost me a lot of money. Like, it would have been better for me to work and earn the money and pay for it without getting the student loan. Because it would have cost me less than to actually get a student loan. But when I went to school, that's not the way you did it. That's not the way school worked. You got your student loan. You went to school. Even if you didn't know what you were going to actually do in school, you still went to school. And I think that was probably one of the biggest mistakes I've ever made. I mean, there's a whole long list of mistakes I've made, but I finished with a piece of paper that has zero value to me. It had zero value when I finished with it and has made no difference in my life. Now, saying that at the same time, if there is a zombie apocalypse, I'm ready for it. I am an environmental engineering technologist. My dream was to sit in a lab. If anybody watches NCIS, what Abby Shudo did, I am trained to do what she does. I can do all the same tests. I can work on major mass spec. I can do all of those. That is what I am trained to do. Not what I wanted to do, but I am trained to do that. So I can do all kinds of really cool things. And yeah, the problem with it is I am a female. And I am working in an industry that is highly sexist. And I was unable to find employment in my field of study because I have the wrong gender parts. The other thing is that the jobs are the type of jobs you can do and do them for life. Like, once you're in, you're in. So that was what was also very appealing to me about these jobs, was that it's not something like you're working in business where you work your way up the ladder or anything like that. When you're a tech, you start as a tech and you stay as a tech. Like, you don't move up at all. Like, there's one supervisor and that supervisor has been there for 25 and 30 years. So they have to retire and then another tech job comes up, or another supervisor job comes up, and that'll go to somebody and they'll be there for the next 10, 15 years. Like, it's kind of how it works. And I was actually very okay with that. I wanted to be in a job that I knew what I was doing every day. And when I was done my job at the end of the day, I just went home. Like there wasn't oh, you need to do this, or, you got to bring the reports home, or you got to get this report done or that report done before the boss comes in, and like none of that. The job I was working was you counted drips in a test tube, and that's about it. Your reports were, this is what the machine spit out. And I was like, that is awesome. That is what I want to do. But again, no opportunity to do that. And it was very unfair. But it was a sign of the times at that time. I don't know if the industry is like that anymore. But my qualifications are now outdated that I would actually have to go back to school to requalify on most of the technology that I was trained on. And I honestly don't have any interest in doing that. I'm also a lot older than my voice sounds, and I'm not sure if I'm as hireable because ageism is now an issue in the industry. It's like, yes, you can't win for losing. So yeah, I may have aged out of the field of study, which is kind of sad. I mean, I am capable of working for myself. One of the internships I did work for a company which was pretty awesome. They were 3 engineers. Now, I'm an engineering technologist, which means I am, let's see, I don't know what the equivalent is in the US. It's a 3-year diploma that I did. So I am 1 year short of a university degree. So I could have gone to university straight from there and continued what I was doing and actually gotten the degree. But those degrees are very expensive. And I didn't want to be an engineer, like a full-out engineer. I was dating one at the time, and I found that engineers are the ones who are the supervisors. They're the ones doing the paperwork. I didn't want to do that. I want to be the one in the lab. And you can't do that with an engineering degree. Yeah, I'm in IT, so you totally understand. Yeah, it is getting better, but it's still not there yet. Like it's nowhere close yet. And again, seriously, I don't have an extra one. Well, let's go get some glass and some sleep. It's nighttime. Every so often you'll see me hit the shift key with my pinky. It's because when I play Warframe, that's how you run, is shift. So I play a lot of Warframe, and as a result, I forget sometimes that I'm not playing Warframe, and I press the wrong button. And I gotta tell you, when I'm playing Warframe, it's really bad because sometimes I go up to the edge of things and I press shift to be able to peek over the edge and forget that you can't do that because, yeah, Warframe. Pink house, not this one, silly. And yeah, I fall off the edge. The nice thing is you don't die when you fall off the edge. But still, you fall off the edge and it's embarrassing. And I think the sun is coming up, isn't it? Yeah, it's too late to sleep now. Yeah, so in my field, very male dominated. And on top of being male dominated, it's also lifetime positions. And that is a problem. So if you've got a job, you're in there forever. The nepotism is also really bad. People are getting hired to work in like water treatment facilities because, Uncle so-and-so works there. Not because they actually took a course on how to safely keep water clean, but because their uncle works there. And he walks them through the process of pressing buttons. That's not how this works. You don't hire your nephew because he's your nephew. You hire your nephew because your nephew is a qualified technician. No. No. So yeah, we actually had an incident in which several people died in a small town because that's what they did. He hired a family member to be doing it rather than the qualified people who applied. And people died as a result. And I'm like, this is scary because this is my industry. This is what I know. This is what I'm good at. Although again, it has been a while. Although I'm pretty sure a zombie apocalypse will quickly make me remember how to do everything. So even in here, streaming, entirely male dominated. Gaming industry, male dominated. It is getting better, but the problem is the people who are females and streaming, I'm finding are not helping other female streamers. They're not. To get ahead, a lot of them are doing things that give other female gamers a bad name, and that I hate. I think they call them, what was it, titty gamers? Like, you don't need to be showing off your cleavage. You're there to play a video game. And if that's what you need to get ahead, then you're in the wrong industry. They have, strip joints and stuff like that available for you, if that's what you want to do. So I'm very harsh on that because I find that to be a problem, a huge problem. I want to get recognized and to do well because I do my job well. Not because I have a camera and I do have a camera, by the way. I just refuse to use it. A pretty good one too. I have a good webcam. But I don't want to use it to be able to get ahead. That is not what I'm here for. On top of the fact that I'm running a PG stream anyways, so it's not like I would be able to use my cleavage. But in real life, I don't do that anyways. I rarely wear stuff with any kind of cleavage. I do have a couple of dresses that do have, nice cleavage, but they're for when I go out with my boyfriend, They are for his enjoyment more than general public consumption. And I'm not going to wear them for, I'm not going to put them on camera. It's just not going to happen. And, I could rant and rave about this forever. And I'm sure Tackback would agree. I do rant and rave about it forever. It is one of my huge pet peeves that in something like this, where we have a good chance of being equals, there are those who take us a step down again. And it's like, we could be so much better. As a community, we could do so much more, and nope. There are those few who just don't seem to get it. They don't want to get ahead on their merits. And I wonder if it's because they don't think they have any merits. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's a self-esteem thing. Whoops, wrong building. I do understand that people sometimes want to dress up in certain ways and whatever, and, that makes them feel good. And the way they look and stuff. But they've got to look at the comments in their community. If they are getting a lot of comments that are based on what they're wearing, then really and truly, they're not doing such a great job after all. Because they're not there to see the content they're producing. They're there to see what they're wearing. And I'm like, maybe you should be in a fashion blog and not in a gaming one. And I don't know. I mean, I get cranky about it. I mean, you should be able to wear whatever you want, and you should be able to do whatever you want. But that's not true. If you work in a restaurant, there is a uniform that goes with it. If you work in a business office, there's an expected dress code as well. You don't go in sweatpants and stuff. You wear what you're supposed to. And that's kind of how I grew up, was you wear the clothing appropriate to the job you're doing. And yeah, nobody's going to know that they were a good video game player because all they were doing was staring at their chest. And I'm like, that is such a disservice that you would do to yourself. Why would you do that? If you're a great player, no one is going to care what you look like. So it's just frustrating to me, because there are some really good players out there who are completely demeaning themselves. Without a camera, they would still be awesome players. But I guess if they just want the audience, that's more important than the game. They just want the attention. Maybe it's just to get the money. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I can't see myself ever sinking to that. I will admit I have been tempted to put up a camera and stuff. But my biggest thing is also I'm just too damn lazy. I don't do an evening show. I don't have the same kind of time that most of the ones who are doing this do that. I get up in the morning and this is what I do. So, oops, I made a boo-boo there somewhere. There it is. So I'd have to get up significantly earlier to do my hair and put on makeup. Well, find my makeup. And to do all of that, to get the webcam up. I don't have a green screen, so that would be an additional cost and additional technology I would have to learn. My background is not too bad, but it would be fine. Especially, I couldn't be streaming in my pajamas. And if I did, I'd have to buy specific pajamas just for streaming, so that I have stream appropriate pajamas. And yeah, who really wants to do that much work? I'm already exhausted thinking about it. I can barely remember to have breakfast before my stream. I'm like, how am I going to remember to do all of those things? I use a program called Fences, and in it, I actually have a stream one. And in that stream one, it actually has all of my programs so that I know which programs I have to load, just so I don't have to think about what programs to load in the morning. Hey, I got them all to face the same way. Yay! So they spin in a circle. This is my most hated one, but I put it up anyways because I can. These arrows are ridiculous. Did I do it twice? Oh no, this is magenta. Oh, I do. I have another one over there. I can't move that magenta one because the first place I'd put it is where the yellow one is, but then I run into the same yellow problem. What if I put it... No. I could switch the greens? I could switch green with magenta. So I'll switch those two. But back to this. Door. And banners. Boom, boom. I mean, I can understand liking attention, but then there's getting liked for the wrong attention. There's good attention, and then there's bad attention. And when you're being objectified, that's not good attention. Like, not even a little bit. And that's going to fall inside, isn't it? Maybe. Oh, I cannot be standing on it if I'm breaking it. There we go. Please. Yes, we got it. Woohoo! If I do this right, I can edit all the same direction. Yay! The other magenta one I made looks horrible because they're all facing like different directions. It's terrible. Wow, this is becoming like a ranty stream. I've had a little bit of extra rage running through my system this week, but I blame it completely on having to interact with people. people in person can truly suck. On top of that, we did have an election. And for me, it went very badly, as it did for several other people. Especially people in any kind of vulnerable community. Like literally anything. If you can pick a community that has any kind of anything, yeah, they just got completely messed up in this election. Yeah. My province in essentially voted in Trump North. This man is a horrible man. And yeah. And he only cares about himself. And for some unknown reason, the vast majority, and when I say that tongue in cheek because of the fact that we had, when the math worked out for the number of people who actually voted for him, it works out to a very small number of people because nobody showed up to vote. So his supporters all showed up to vote. And so we got him. And it's one of those serve your rights type of moment. You know, if you don't show up to vote, then you're going to kind of get really crappy people. And we did. We got the worst of the worst. So I'm like, I tell Tackback I can't marry him and move down to the US until Trump is out of office. I can't do it. And then I turn around and I'm in my own country and we vote in somebody just like him. And I'm like, wow. Like, just wow. I don't know how we did it. I don't know how we failed ourselves so badly. But we did. Actually, the choices that we had, like the choices were so bad, there was actually a party running called None of the Above. Like there literally was a none of the above party. It was so bad. The choices were horrible. And nobody wanted anybody in. I just don't know what happened. I remember in the heyday when we used to have some wonderful politicians and they were awesome. Like they were really, really awesome. They loved what they did. They loved our country. They loved all of it. And it made you proud to be part of the system. It made you proud to be part of the country. You know, it made you proud of your leaders. And I'm like, what happened? Where did all of those politicians of integrity go? Trump was just here. And now he's spouting off about our prime minister and stuff. And I'm like, I don't understand why he has access to his own Twitter account. Like, I thought they were supposed to take all that away. Change the password. Like, what is going on? I don't understand. But yeah, he called our prime minister a liar and all this other stuff. And brought up the fact that we burned the White House. And it's like, well, that would be a great idea, except for Canada wasn't a country at the time. So we couldn't have really burned the White House. I mean, we want to take credit for it. Yes, that would be awesome to be able to say, yes, we burned down the White House. But we didn't burn it down. We just scorched it pretty badly. And we weren't Canada at the time. We were British North America. So again, he's using his alternate facts. And I'm not sure what it even had to do with anything. Like, why is he bringing this up? We're coming on Canada Day. This is one of our proudest moments. It's so weird. But now we have our version of that. So I can't even complain about like how like I can't. I haven't finished this house. It stresses me out. Tackback is saying I worry about things I shouldn't worry about, but you know what? When you have an anxiety disorder, you worry about stuff that you don't have to worry about. I'm not even helping myself. Netflix has a show on right now by Nat Geo, and it's about doomsday preppers. And I'm watching it. And I'm like, I really should stay away from this stuff because it really isn't helping me in any way. I'm watching people store food and ammunition and water and watching them be evaluated on their survivability and stuff like that. I'm like, this is what I find is entertainment? There's something very wrong with me. But I do find it entertaining. My plans in an apocalypse is not to survive. I don't want to be one of those people struggling to live. I don't want to be that person. I'm not interested. My goal is to be one of the first to be gone. The building's going to fall over. I want it to be the building I'm in. I have no fear of death in that sense. I'm Christian, therefore. Hi. Good morning. Back. Good morning. But yeah, I have no fear of that. As a Christian, I believe I'm going somewhere better. So why would I want to stay during the zombie apocalypse? Like, honestly, who wants to stay during that? Who wants to survive it? I don't. I want to be so out of here. On top of that, I have 2 elderly parents. There is no way that I can look after them and me during a zombie apocalypse. Tackback lives in a whole other country, so essentially our relationship ends with the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. So really, why do I want to stick around? Not to say that I'm going to off myself because of the zombie apocalypse, but I'm not going to make any effort to, like, run continually and stuff. If they're going to eat me alive, then so be it. I'm good with that. Yeah, you are where the Walking Dead takes place. So yeah, you're in worse state than I am. So in World War Z, which doesn't make any sense, but I read the book. But apparently, Canada is one of the places you want to go because it gets so cold in the winter. Even though the zombies don't die, they aren't animated enough to do anything. They kind of get frozen. Or they slow down enough that they're like frozen. So they're easy to pick off. They're no real threat. Or they end up in lakes and stuff, and then the lakes freeze over. So there's no threat there. So I'm like, rats. Apparently Canada is the place to be if you want to survive the zombie apocalypse. And I'm like, no. Why do I have so many extra? I have 10 extra cyan terracotta.